Well, I've just read online that Meghan Trainor is the latest A-list singing celebrity to succumb to a thing called a vocal fold hemorrhage. What is a vocal fold hemorrhage and how's it going to affect her career long term? And more importantly, how could it possibly affect yours if you were suddenly faced with the news of a vocal fold hemorrhage? Let's talk about all of that straight after this.
Sound check. Check one, check two.
Hi, my name's Dr. Dan. Welcome to Voice Essentials, where we develop your voice and improve your sound, because here at Voice Essentials, we believe every voice deserves to be heard, and that includes yours. Well, here we are again in the Djarts forecourt, as we named it in our most recent video. And today I want to talk to you about a thing called a vocal fold hemorrhage. And it's been recently in the news that Meghan Trainor has succumbed to this thing that we've heard about before. We've heard Adele had a vocal fold hemorrhage, Sam Smith recently had a vocal fold hemorrhage, and now Meghan Trainor has had a vocal fold hemorrhage. So what is a vocal fold hemorrhage? Well, simply speaking, a vocal fold hemorrhage is kind of like a bleed out of a bruising of the vocal folds, and it typically takes place between either in what's called the lamina propria, the middle layer of the vocal folds, or the surface level of the vocal folds called the epithelium. And essentially it is literally a bursting of blood vessels so that the vocal fold surface actually starts to bleed. Now this, of course, is not a good thing, and it typically happens as a result of the vocal folds being brought together in a really heavy, abrasive manner. And the singers that are most at risk of a vocal fold hemorrhage are the singers like the A-list celebrities who are having to sing night in, night out without a lot of rest. And the female singer is at a higher risk because for some women, their menstrual cycle is going to have a bigger impact on causing those capillaries to surface a little closer to the point of which that they can actually bleed out and the vocal folds can bruise. So are you at risk of a vocal fold hemorrhage? Well, maybe. The chances are though that if you're giving your voice good levels of rest and you're not having to sing when the voice is either really significantly tired or you're firstly not having your period, and secondly the voice is not having to sing when it's sick, then you're probably not at a high risk of vocal fold hemorrhage. And just incidentally, another thing that has been noted to heighten the risk of vocal fold hemorrhage are drugs that include ibuprofen and drugs that include aspirin. And so they're two drugs that you need to steer clear of when you are singing, because again, they heighten the risk of vocal fold hemorrhage.
Sound check.
So could Meghan Trainor have avoided this vocal fold hemorrhage? Was it simply a lack of vocal technique that led to her having this vocal fold bleed out? Well, not necessarily. You see, you've got to understand that these A-list celebrities are having to undergo a schedule that you and I possibly may never have to experience. And so when you have multi-million-dollar tours with stadiums full of people that are listening to you sing, and they've traveled thousands of miles just to come and hear you perform, we fall into that age-old scenario of the show must go on, even if all at one point in time you have this perfect storm of vocal fatigue. Maybe it's the menstrual cycle comes into play, you're feeling sick, and unfortunately you've unwittingly taken some medication that may have a negative impact. Suddenly you're in a situation where, regardless of how good your technique is, you are going to succumb to perhaps some wear and tear that could lead to some damage, such as a vocal fold hemorrhage. So how do you avoid a vocal fold hemorrhage? Is it simply a matter of avoiding singing when you're sick or singing when you're tired? I know there are times when you're going to have to sing when you're not feeling 100%. Well, there's always no guarantee that our voices won't succumb to some level of damage when we're in a scenario where we have to sing but we know the voice isn't in great condition. But let me put you at rest. These vocal issues, whether it be a vocal fold hemorrhage, nodules, these issues that have become nightmarish words for singers, needn't cause us this sense of if you get one of those, your career is over, because it simply isn't the case. Yes, with a vocal fold hemorrhage, for example, given that that's what we're talking about today, it could mean some significant rest, and it can actually also mean some vocal fold surgery. But the outcomes now for singers who have suffered these issues are really very good. You know, we don't look at, sports people that have done a knee or a hammy and we think, oh, their career's over for the rest of their life. No, we understand that that sports person is going to have to go through a rehabilitation process, as too is the singer. The career isn't over. It's not all going to come to a screaming halt, but we do want to avoid it, and we do want to put into play those things that we know that we can use to lessen the impact or the chances of these things going wrong for us. Have you ever experienced a vocal fold hemorrhage or some other major issue with your voice? We would love to hear your story here at Voice Essentials, and we would love to learn from you. And what did you experience physically, emotionally? What were the impacts on you and your career, or simply your enjoyment of singing? Why don't you write your comments below, leave us a thumbs up to say, hey, this has been an encouraging activity to really have a discussion about this. And if this is your first time here at Voice Essentials, we would love for you to subscribe and join our ever-growing family here at Voice Essentials, where we develop your voice and improve your sound, because we believe here at Voice Essentials that everyone's voice deserves to be heard. But until we talk again in the next Voice Essentials video, my name is Dr. Dan. Sing well.